line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, for one last time this season, we're going to bring you the Six Sigma Sim Racing Oval League back onto the track and back in the playing field. This is our final race of the season at Charlotte Motor Speedway here in Concord, North Carolina. Hi, everyone. I am the Crusader Chris Troy, joining you guys here today as we present to you live here on PTM Racing TV. The action and the heaviness of the hard racing we're about to see. This will be a true driver's lineup and a battle of supremacy for many out here, as it is presented in part by our friends at Six Sigma Sim Racing. Six Sigma is your number one Moza and Sim Magic dealer in North America, while it's the manufacturer of best valued high-end sim racing chassis in the market. Alright, with that, time to introduce to your 12 drivers on the starting lineup tonight. And on the pole, piloting the number 14 is Austin Lauder, the outside. In the number 12, that will be Elenton Norgard. Row number 2 is William White in the 43, and the outside of number 21, Corey Abbott. Row 3 is Andrew Hardcastle, number 20 on the outside, and that's 78, Joe Gregory. Row 4 is the throttle, Chantel Bottle on the 5, the outside, and the 76, Mike Rideout. Row number 5 is Stephen Lauder on the 11, the outside, and that number 2 is Chad Lancaster. And finally in row 6, Jeff Oakes will pilot the 22 on the outside, and the 71, Wayne Ruprack. Ben Ruprack saying pull those belts down one more time, and apparently Ailenton may have some mechanical problems down there as well. That seems to be the word or the copy here. He was working okay on my end just a little bit ago, so I'm not completely sure what's going on down there. Austin Lyons' first time ever on the starting lineup in the pole. Let's see what this Mastro Shops Club Tracker Boats 14's got in store. He's going to have to go head-to-head, though, with a tough one in Corey Abbott and William White. Both drivers searching for another win, or their first or their last win, depending on how you look at it. This is the final race this season. Let the finale continue. The finale has begun now, race fans, and we are going to set them off down through the first center corners here. Hard driving out of the gate for Andrew Hardcastle. Chantel Bottle, Chad Lancaster, and Mike Rideout all learning their way through the field, trying to hang it down on the early edge. Even Louder here. Family member to Austin Louder currently hanging up the rear with Jeff Oakes kind of parching his way into the field. You're going to see a lot of drivers moving quick and trying to bolster down fast. 100 laps to the distance here. This is not going to be an easy challenge. This will be a very tall task, a tall order for many to try to push their limits to. On board here with William White here, the Englishman right now looking for his first win of the season. Yet to pop it out of victory lane once this season. But oh so close so many times. He told me earlier, if I was going to get it done, I've got to do it tonight. 22 Andrew Hardcastle right now here looking to make his way through the field as well. He's trying to get up right to the number 27 of Rory Gavitt. Yeah, granted, the Tanks.GG is supposed to be driving the 20, as that is supposed to be Jeff Oakes' number, but, well, let's just say there was a bit of an issue on the paints today. Trolling down to the field right now, Chad Lancaster hanging in there as well, while Mike Rideout coming up for him as well. Rideout probably going to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more stretched in. You're going to watch him really kind of try to stretch out the run as long as he can before he starts to really take too many big risks or big moves here. But one thing to know about Charlotte is, again, 100 laps to the distance. It's a mile and a half in length. But what makes this track so difficult to me is two things: null and void the tires, and just trying to also have to run through the tight corners and the tight ends of the turns. It's not an easy track. It's a very difficult one at that, and it really brings out the speed and the power of these guys. Lancaster right out, Bottle, they're doing their own thing right now. Meanwhile, up to the front, Corey Abbott laying low, 7/10 of a second behind, while Andrew Hardcastle makes his life a little bit more difficult on the track. Running it up on the inside, looking for the pass on the run. The Tanks.GG trying to fire the guns at the number 21, CA Graphics. No go there though yet. Andrew can't quite get the pass all in situated form. Abbott was able to hold him off for just a brief moment. Joe Gregory, number 78, paying a little homage to the old Furniture Row racing style. Scheme, it's good to see that old scheme coming back here. Good to see that old look there. Pretty crazy to believe. Pretty sweet looking little design there, but nevertheless, it's history, clairvoyant, and making of quite a bit there to bring it back here on this final race of the season. Honestly, probably honestly one of the cooler things to see today. Louder making some runs and making some good pushes, but it's the 43 of White that makes the better of the pushes. The 2135 SimRare.com is going to take the race lead. Louder trying to get away back on him. Not a whole lot of room or a whole lot of breathing area to get through these corners. You see how tight the turn 1 and turn 2 is versus what 3 and 4 can be as well. The only areas these drivers can get openings or chances to really make good passes on is really the stretches, the front and the back. But the back stretch actually, because of how straightened out it is, it does give a little bit more of a shot at taking for a run and taking for a drive there. But the way the front stretch opens up, it actually right in the middle as it comes to the corner, he actually opens wider than it does in the back stretch. Which that could be a lot of things to give a lot of drivers some openings or chances to work with, but it definitely makes it just a little bit more difficult to have to figure out and then get through. Corey Abbott right now. Talk about fighting off and firing down. Trying to find some openings here on the 14. I think I'm starting to see too, it looks like the tire wear may be starting to affect the leadership a little bit. Make it a little bit more difficult to really push the pressure in and then right down on the track. Working his way down on the inside though, the number 21 Corey Abbott looking for the 14th run. Currently trying to holster the outside line. Louder keeping his speed up, keeping the power on. White, Abbott, and Louder right now battle for the race lead. White trying to defend off Abbott after so many times in his shadow and so many times coming up to be a runner-up, all due to just either a few simple mistakes or just an unbearable amount of issues to have to work around. White desperately trying to keep him behind. Abbott got to run yet again, and this is what you're seeing a lot of, is you take your time, pace yourself, and let the car come in swim play. You then let the other driver catch right up on you, and that's when it becomes a very tricky little subject. Abbott can't quite get enough of a run on the straights, but he certainly can get enough of a run on the turns. Overpowering the 4-3 with a great momentum and great charging. Galenton Oregon has returned on the track. He is back out here. Parker Kelly says, I think Mr. White has killed his tires again. Yeah, he has got a burnt right front up. That right front is digging in hard, and he can't get a grip. It's not rotating as well as it would had he had a little bit more friction, a little bit more tire wear on that rubber. Right now, Abbott has outsmarted him for the moment. The more they battle, though, the more they're letting Austin Louder stick around. So Louder right now probably looking at the overall picture, probably trying to draft up there with White to keep up with Abbott, to keep the pressure on and make sure that he forces him in to every little scenario and every little situation here. And now Louder looking to get a little bit impatient, looking to make his move on the 43. Swinging it down the inside. He's got a good run coming off the corner. It looks like he might have the opening he was looking for. Louder making his move ahead of White. White has indeed appeared to have burnt the tires up too much and too little too late, unfortunately. Not what you expect. Have a driver of his caliber, usually out of his level playing field, but again, This racing route, these racing lines, these racing roads will make you do some crazy things. Abbott, Louder, White right now separating themselves out. Right now, Andrew Hardcastle, Joe Gregory as well, keeping themselves in good pace and good control. On board here, though, real quick with Jeff Oaks as we watch this battle go through between the 78 and the 22. The 22 of Hardcastle, the 22 of Oaks now. Swapping out not only confusion, but also the schemes here. Answer couldn't quite keep his power up onto the bay here. Oaks using that strength and smart technique to work his way around. Barker saying, I think White is just uncomfortable driving off the right rear. Is weird because it seemed to have it down on street stocks. Well, I think if I have to be honest with ourselves here and have to be fair to White, street stocks versus these Xfinity cars, they are just two completely different feelings and two completely different drives. With those street stocks, you actually got a little bit of a looser end on the track, a little bit of a better grip in terms of actually just letting the car swale in wide and then just drive it off from it. Versus with these Xfinity cars, obviously they're not fully designed or they're not as good as what the actual Xfinity car is today. I've been told a lot by drivers as well as everyone individually wise that has been in our group chats as well, that these Xfinity cars are a little bit outdated, so they're actually not quite on the same boat, same level that the Xfinity or the street stocks would be, so in real life. So I think honestly one problem is having to try to actually dig that right rear in. You actually have to really stud it early, and then you have to figure out a way then to keep the right front from getting too out of shape, too out of hand, which becomes a very difficult process and very hard to master. I honestly have only got one win in Xfinity, and that was really on my home track at Iowa Speedway, and that was just because I got lucky, to be honest with you. Cautions kind of flew in my favor, and I had on it for a pit stop, so I kind of saved my tires and saved myself there. But I don't know, Parker, you tell me, what do you think there? I personally think that these Xfinity cars are just a little bit more difficult to master in terms of when it comes to having to figure out how to get the right front and the right rear to balance each other out and not overdo itself. 25 out of the 100 laps so far completed. Back to the pack here as we see right now Joe Gregory, the first of our drivers to go to pit road. Virtual Row 78 right now looks like he wants to just get a little bit of a cleanup job done up on that thing. Might have a little bit of a tear up on the right side, but I think mainly he's looking for fuel here. Ben Ruprecht saying Louder and White seem to be chewing up the tires when Corey keeps it smooth. You know, I honestly agree with that strategy and I agree with that assessment, but at the same time, we gotta kind of look at this guy too, and that number 12, Ledge.GG. Even the Nailton has already taken the championship home this season. He didn't really need a race today. He's already secured it. Him and Corey, throughout the season, they have been almost mirror images of each other in terms of how they control their car, how they control the speed, and that's how much of a struggle and how crazier it can get when it comes to having to overhaul that place and speed there. So, I mean, really, in all honesty, I think Abbott probably taking a lot more notification of variety when it comes to having to go against Norgard this season. Probably took a lot of tools and techniques. Oh, and wait a minute, as we're talking about that, he actually overdrives it, slams it into turn number 2, and Charlotte Motor Speedway has just got another one thrown off the radar. You can't be too confident, and Abbott just lost that out. He's trying to get into pit road quickly before Louder gets a good one on him, and the 14 will beat him in. But my word, we were just talking about how smooth Abbott was at a complete 180 there off of turn number 2. My, Louder, Abbott and White will be in pit road. Pot on right out, laying it out. They're going to try to go the long haul here. Pit stops now being made. Right at it will still continue on the pace and continue on the line. Looks like he's going to try a very unique strategy here, which is just lay off and lay low. Just kind of sail around and let the car do its thing. He's going to try to play the endurance route today. Well, now it looks like he's going to pit road, so right out, laying it out a little bit longer than everybody else, but strategy-wise, I don't know if it's going to be a long enough run in the fuel terms to actually really do anything special or really outclass these guys. I think he's still going to have his hands full and his hands tied on that, so we'll have to see how that plays out, though. Austin Lauder right now is going to take the lead away, and Corey Abbott watching on and probably trying to make sure he doesn't cook up the right front or the right rear, whatever it was that got him earlier. Kelly says, I think it's that the Xfinity will snap on you faster and harder than the SS, but it's a bit better than the ARCA. I mean, I can agree to a point. And then Ben Ruprecht saying, oh, ARCA, my happy place. Well, my problem with the Xfinity car is not really that it snaps, it's just, it's almost like just a bit of a holster, if you will. It's harder to control and it's harder to really deep dive down. And even ARCA series, like, I have a huge problem with them sometimes where you cook up any of them tires, that car almost becomes into a dump truck. Xfinity kind of is the same situation. If you overdo it early or you overdo too much, it becomes that harder to control, harder to really run out kind of track. I feel like the best strategy has always been just kind of lay off for a little bit, use your power when you need to later. Well, that ever Norgard or Abbott, before the Abbott got on the wall there, you just pretty much kind of use your own little hint of speed, hint of power, and that was all you needed to do. We haven't looked at all our body styles tonight here. We also got K&K's auto body style. That is the 71 of Wayne Ruprecht. He's in pit road as well right now, currently trying to get squared up. Well, right now, so far, the shocker has been really this guy right here, that 14 of Austin Lauder. But why is that? Well, let's go on board here and let's find out more. We're going to show you guys really three main pillars to Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is the first step is understanding the fuel, the second step is understanding tire, and the third step is understanding the ripples and the effects of each part of the track. Power and speed is one thing, momentum is another. But what happens when you can't get that momentum to carry through each lap, to carry through the corners, and carry through the runs? Well, you then find yourself trapped between a rock and a hard place, and you find yourself trapped in what I call the extreme endurance level that Charlotte Motor Speedway brings to the table. It is not easy, it is very difficult to deal with, and it's very hard to figure out. And just one little slip up into each corner or any of the exits or any of the entries, and you could be going for a little wild ride here. That little uphill slope embankment on the top and the bottom, and then a little downhill off the exits really shoot those cars straight in and around, and it's very tricky to get squared up and really watch out for. And then of course, Can't forget about those old bumps on the back straightaway. Them bumpy surfaces will get you all over the place. I believe it's called I believe it's Humpy Wheeler's bumps down the back stretch. I believe that's what it's called. Somebody tell me in the comment section down below if I'm right or not. Speaking again, a little bit of a bump in the road here. Joe Gregory in the 78 trying to strategize above all else, but he's got Hardcastle right beside him now trying to make a move off. Hardcastle, I'm just so used to seeing him in that GameStop number 20. That's kind of weird to see him just throwing out a Tanks.gg scheme and then having to swap his number out in the wrong number here. Hardcastle makes the clear pass and the clear cutoff around off turn number 4 there earlier, and then got him a little bit more in turn 1 and 2. Gregory not able to hang tight. And the field starting to separate out further along. They are starting to plan and map out some strategies here. This isn't going to be one of those races like we saw at Rockingham where drivers are closer together, they're tightened up, and they have to really watch each turn. They really have to make sure they avoid any trouble or conflicts. This, in my opinion, is going to bolster down to what I call a long haul and a long fight. Only the best on the fuel and only the best on the tire may be able to strike it out and win. Pit stops, extremely important here, and very critical and crucial to get squared up. Parker Kelly asking, is Norgard back on the lead lap? No, he is not on the lead lap still. He is currently about 4 laps down at the moment. Well, almost 4 laps. Again, though, Ailton came into this race. He did not need to win. He did not need to come out on top. He was already secured for the championship. Field starting to slowly convert and get back together here. Louder and Abbott already converting in through and starting to push the momentum up. Everett Buck saying no cautions. He won't get back without those. Yeah, he's not going to get any laps back without a little help. He needs these drivers or someone to make a mistake. They only seen one mistake, and that was going to the wall, which was the 21 of Abbott. But since then, it's pretty much been a smooth sailing ride from there. Drivers right now battling back and forth here. Speeds well over 180 miles per hour at top speed, 150 miles per hour in the corners. Burrowing through the speed and burrowing through the run right now. Abbott trying to find a leg up or something around Louder. Lancaster having to back off, and so is Louder, but they drive extremely high on the outside. And it looked like Abbott might have had a little bit of a chance there to make a run for him here, but he wasn't quite successful. Oh, so close to having a little bit of a break or a little bit of a chance here. It was not to be, though. Down off of turn number 2, though, the field working their way around. Set the pace and then set the tone up a little bit. Abbott is trying so desperately to get something around that 14, but again, driving that far up on the outside, you really force your right front, your right rear to have to kick up a little bit more. I think the problem too is, again, with that 14 way he's been driving, he's been a little bit smoother, a little bit more edged out. Lauder might have finally found a track, in my opinion, that could suit his style a little bit more, which is kind of lay low and then drive from there. And as he probably would put it too, he doesn't have to worry about a Norgarden situation in his back of his rear view mirror. But he still has a tough one in that CA21 graphics machine. The rest of the field right now kind of stretching their way around. William White has a little bit of company coming up on his back buffer here as Jeff Oaks in the 22. Building up a little bit of speed, building up a little bit of momentum here. It's one thing I've always learned, and I'll tell you right now, racing this guy in general for as long as I have, don't ever count out Jeff Oaks. Jeff Oaks is one of those cats, man, when he gets anything figured out or he starts to get just a little bit confident, he's probably one of the, not the toughest drivers I would have to face up against. I wish no mercy on anybody, but again, I would say when it comes to Oaks, I kind of wish for a little mercy, because usually he can be a no remorseful kind of guy in terms of keeping the power and the speed at full blast. He'll run you with the best of them, but he'll fight you with the best of them too. And he's showing it right now. William White still trying to defend him off here as they hang on down through turn number 3 and 4. Here comes Oaks. Oaks to the inside. Big jumping around and big runoff in the corner. Both drivers almost going in a mirror image of each other, but actually Oaks is on a 1 lap lesser tire, and he's actually getting just a little bit more speed, a little bit more runoff here as they're going to run into the 54 here. That is going to be, I believe that is the other number 11 of Stephen Fowler, but yeah, that is Lauder, but it's in the 54, not the 11 for the clarification. You're always wondering, what am I talking about? Well, here you go. When I raced, they gave him the old number. That's what they gave him, but on his custom scheme, it's definitely not that, so that's where my confusion is with the broadcaster, so I apologize in advance, guys. Ben Ruprecht saying Jeff is biggest mover by far now. Yeah, he's 8 spots up. He's gone from 11 to 3rd. Oh, and look at this up front, too. Here we go. A little bit of a battle here for the lead. As Abbott and Lauder, they're going to throw the haymakers and throw caution to the wind if it means going for the win. The season finale so far at Charlotte, starting off a little slow, builds up, picks up, and then it really kind of shimmers down just again, and then all of a sudden it picks right back up. Lauder trying to keep the pressure on, trying to make sure he doesn't let anything get in his way. Joe Gregory here on pressure set tires here, dipping it up on the outside, trying to get his lap back. He's going to force Abbott to have to drop low. Lauder not going to be too displeased about that. But Abbott will certainly have his thoughts and his mindset on that. But here comes the number 78 on the outside. And Lauder, almost like a great timing mechanism, allowed him to actually stay up top and back off just enough to let him run through. The 14 now has to deal with the pressure coming right back behind him. It was a good move and a good resource to stay out of that way and stay out of that troublesome spot. However, it doesn't appear that it's making it any easier. Pit stops a many, pit stops a plenty, and yet again the same boat, the same situation, increasing its way and showing itself on the track again. Lauder and Abbott have both entered in with William White behind. Andrew Hardcastle, Chantal Potomac right now. They're going to stay out. And Jeff Folks already gone into pit road. So Hardcastle, really to me, been kind of the silent one of the bunch. He hasn't really made too much noise. He hasn't doing too many crazy things. Really just trying to keep himself a little bit more under control, a little bit more calm here. Well, right now pit stops coming in for Andrew Hardcastle here. Chad Lancaster, Wayne Rupak, Stephen Lauder, they've all headed in. Ailence Norgard also going in. So Norgard right now, his strategy I think is just kind of stay out of trouble and let everyone else race their way around here. From pit road wise, Corey Abbott managing to get his way around Austin Lauder there. But it did come at a slight little price there. Having to drive as hard as he did to get around Lauder. That means Lauder has a little bit of a chance here to kind of get himself more squared up and more back out on the playing field. Slight right side damage there on the 5 of Chantal Pot. We'll have to see how much that affects our airflow around the car. The number 76 of Mike Rideout right now currently moving his way down into the leader spot yet again. Again, trying to get as much of the fuel as he can, but it's just not going to be enough. No matter how hard or how much he does it here. Michael Bollinger saying, see you Sunday. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday night there, sir. Michael will join us in the broadcast booth for Kansas City's Kansas Speedway. It should be a good one. Should be exciting to watch here. We'll be waiting for you guys down on the track here soon enough. Well, right now Abbott leads him down, but you can see he's already muscling the heck out of this thing. He is getting a lot of drive off and getting a lot of push. I'm not sure how hard the car will be able to take from that kind of angle, that kind of setup. It's a bit of a risk here to really be playing that kind of level, kind of playing that kind of game plan here. Jeff Oakes, William White right now currently stretching their way around as well. Jeff Oakes still hard charging and still looking for possibly a little resurgence or something maybe to take down Lauder and Abbott. He certainly has the speed and the technique, but does he have enough to get the time down? Landon Carrick saying y'all do Cup or just Xfinity. Landon, they just do Xfinity right now. I don't know what they're going to do for next season though. Kind of curious to know what they're going to do. I've heard some cars they're wanting to do or they're thinking about doing, but I'm not going to speculate on that. Side by side right now, William White. Look at this, the 2135 machine. The 2315 somewhere. Gonna bring the 43, swinging in down the inside. Got a great run off there and a good pass from the Toyota. And Oaks not quite able to keep him up to par and keep him up to pace here. When you feel that pressure and you feel that momentum kind of shift towards the other driver, you know you're doing something right here.
Mark Elliott kind of saying Xfinity at the moment for the Six Sigma, and Landon agreeing with that.
But I will say as well here, Landon, if you are new to our channel, we do have other broadcasts that include the Cup Series, many of which include the Saturday night portions of our broadcast from GOAT Racing League. They do the Cup Series, and the Next Gen Cup Series to be exact. Not sure if we're going to get more of the Cup Series here on the show in due time, but we do have trucks as well we watch on Sunday nights, and also on Monday nights we have the Honda Civic Type R's on the ovals and road courses. And then of course Tuesdays is with another set of trucks from the GOAT Racing League. And Wednesday nights, as you can see, they've been pretty much with the Six Sigma Sim Racing Camp, and they've been bringing these Xfinities out to life. Also tomorrow night, guys, I have not left you guys in the I've left you in the dark too long. Our Super Speedway Series for the Xfinity Series will be back out with the Pit Stall Racing Series. There's a lot of series in there, but just hang in there with me. We'll see that live tomorrow night here on the show. It should be an exciting one down at Daytona. Well, Louder, for the most part of this race, has been kind of playing a very specific line and playing a very good drive-off, but right now, anyway, hasn't quite got to the same boat or the same kind of speed that he was at earlier, but again, he could be saving something on Abbott, trying to force him to drive a little harder so he burns up his equipment more. As we hit on the onboard camera here with the 5 Apollo here, you can see she's trying to deal with the 14 right in front of him. And this time it's not me inside that car in the 14, so I'm glad I'm in the booth. I'm not down there with my usual number, so because usually when me and her have to go at it on the track, usually it doesn't end well for me, because usually she's trying to run me down to the ground and I'm running her as hard as I can. It's a lot of fun though, man. She's a hard racer and she is tough to tame, but right now currently sitting in 7th here just due to everyone else just ramming the speed and getting the power underneath them. They've been able to keep themselves well in control and well in proximity of this one. Louder and the Tracker boats right now trying to hold down the line, trying to hold off the corners. You can see Abbott though probably getting a little bit nervous knowing that there's a bit of a draft partner there behind the 14. I don't know if that's necessarily intentional there for the 5, but it seems to be working for her. Louder trying to just keep a cool head and keep a good momentum based off the prevailing winds. The speed though is starting to increase. Running right down. Whoa, a little bit off the inside there. You see the 5 slow down, backing off, trying to let Abbott and Louder race it out, but she's also trying to get back on the lead lap. Pressure is on right now. Abbott sees the gap certainly starting to switch and change in the favor of Louder. Looks like Louder was indeed laying low, and then got a little bit of a backdraft, if you will, to kind of keep pushing the dirty airflow off from the 21. It may be one thing though to get that, but you still have to make sure you're getting a good run off the straights and off the turns itself. So you got to make sure you make those turns and you make those corners just right. Well, it was about 0.7 of a second gap earlier by about 4 or 5 laps ago. That has all but switched up now. However, the speed does seem to shift just a little bit more towards Abbott here. Take a look at our lap time presented by Six Sigma Sim Racing, and you can see gap change and lap changes. Man, talk about a gap and a half. And a really good exit there for Lauder. Actually got about another little drive off there. He lost time on that lap, but he did gain it back. Mainly off the exit here of turn number 4. I'm starting to wonder, is Abbott driving the corners a little bit too hard off the exits? And is that what's causing him to have too much speed, not carry over, and actually slipping more into the turns? May not look like it. Remember what happened to him earlier. It got a little too tight and ended up smacking that outside wall, costing him a lot of ground, a lot of run there. With 25 laps to go. Can't make mistakes like that and can't give up any more to it. And right now, looking almost at a 3 wide situation. Oh, wait, oh no! Wayne Ruprecht goes 3 wide into turn number 3 and 4. And that did not work out, and Lauder's run all but just got demolished by a mere little 3 wide situation going for the corner. I know Ruprecht's trying to get back on the lead laps or so, but that might not have been the best move in my opinion. Oh my. What on earth? Oh my word. What was this here, race fans? Look at the replay. Let's take a look at this again. And again, Pato was trying to hold the middle ground, trying to make the pass, but watch Wayne here. He digs in the corner, just catches the apron, slips up, tightens up, and bam! Flips both of them, and Lauder's run all but just got completely nullified and nowhere for him to go. Well, Corey's all but kind of getting himself a lot more breathing room to breathe off of. But right now, he's also going to deal with some company from the 71. Not sure how Wayne will drive here or what he'll have to put up on the 21 to get past him. I'm hoping Ruprecht's not on a kamikaze mission right now on any of these guys. But they're not really to be sure on Pizza Race TV. Some drivers, they will get aggressive and they may get a little bit more egregious than others. I've been a part of it more myself, and I've dealt with it plenty of times before. And talk about a complete change in the scenery and complete change in the feeling right now. Everybody well on their toes and probably at this point probably well thinking what on earth happens next. Abbott looks like he doesn't want anything to do with the 71. He's going to back off, let him through. Might be a smart thing there to do, in my opinion, after what he just probably had to hear about, witnessed about back there. William White right now in pit road, and he's going to try and strategize this one out a little bit. Probably hoping for a bit of a break or a bit of a chance if he can get it. $20 laps remain here at Charlotte. Parker says, is anyone turning too hard, dropping a tire on the apron? Yeah, he drove it way too hard in turn 3, and once it went onto that blue line and under the apron, that car has no chance. Like, I know there's some great drivers out there, but I challenge anybody to even try it one time to think how to even hold that car on line and not let it drift up without having to back out of the throttle on a track like this. This is not an easy one to figure out. This is a very tough playing field and a very tough draw for anybody to have to go at it on and then control it. Parker saying he's going, White going for the major undercut. Might want to explain that to me, honestly. I don't quite know that racing term if I'm thinking of what you're thinking here. Even Loud in the 11, the 54 going to stay up high, fight it out here, wing root back. Meanwhile, Corey Abbott goes to pit road. Austin Louder probably at this point just going to try to strategize something out here because he's not going to get him back on speed. Looks like he's going to go another lap here. Honestly, if I am Louder right now, my strategy is simple. Get in pit road, get the insert repair, get a slight bit of fuel, and drive out of there. He's probably waiting to see what Abbott's going to do here. He's in pit road. Oh, he's taking right sides. We'll see if he takes all four here. It's going to be interesting to see his plan. Yep, all four tires are going on the 21. If I'm Louder, I don't know. I think it might be smarter just to take the fuel and go. But with 16 laps remaining, is that going to be enough, I wonder? It's a very, very risky move. Fresh set of tires will definitely be a key factor and a key role here. I think Louder could probably survive on right sides and fuel, but it's going to be his choice. It's his call. Barker says right sides is just grass repair and fuel. That's a good call there too. Let's see what he does. No, he's taking all four. Corey Abbott is going to catch him here off the front straightaway. Honestly, I don't hate that strategy. Honestly, it was a probably smarter move to do because Corey was catching him anyway. But he's not going to get the power back to catch him. Andrew Hardcastle staying on out. And again, no one's going to have enough fuel here, in my opinion, to really stay in this position. He's got a lot more to work with here. Hardcastle, like we just said a second ago, he's going to have to go in either way. Right out. Looked like he strategized a little bit too there. He knew he wasn't going to have enough. Pownell will not have enough either. She's going to pit road. Everybody now has entered into pit road at least once. The only one that can get to Corey Abbott right now is a guy in the number 22. And I'm not talking about the 20 of Andrew Hardcastle and his 22 dub number. I'm talking about the 22 actual number of Beechcraft Jeff Oakes. Oakes is going to have himself his hands cut out for him if he wants to try to get to Abbott. I don't think he's going to have enough time. He needs it. Honestly, I think he needs a caution or needs some help here to take this one home. Parker saying that was it for the 14. Wasn't good enough on tires and no make tires only. Depends on the driver's comfortable as well with the car if it feels really loose. Yeah, that is very true as well. Twelve laps will now turn to 11 laps remaining here, folks. A long, long drive and a very, very tough fight for every driver to come out here and have to figure out when and where they were going to make their moves, when and where they were going to try to play their hand and play their role. He wrote back a couple laps down still here. The 78 of Joe Gregory going to be just pulling his own strings, pulling his own line, hanging on in the 6th spot here. Probably was looking more towards the top 5 if he could. Doesn't seem that's going to cut out for him today, though. Ten laps remain. 8 laps left. We're cooking the laps down. And speaking of cooking the laps down, take a look at our time zone difference right now. You can see the orange represents gain for Abbott, and Oaks is not gaining anything here. He's gained a little bit off of William White for the 22 camp, but unfortunately, the 21 of Corey Abbott has all but kind of just locked this one up. Barring any craziness or any out of place or out of spots here, I don't see this really changing anytime soon. Popping up about 5 laps to go here right now. Louder trying to get the white at this point. Probably just hoping for a break, hoping for a miracle or anything at this point. Louder right now looking at the corner panel of White. He's got a run on him here, and he's trying to make some moves. The 14 deep the inside, looking for the 3rd spot. He'll be successful. William yet again just having all sorts of dilemmas and situations popping up for him today. Louder finishes that podium. It's going to probably be a very interesting interview if you ask me for that 14. But nevertheless, he's had an extremely good day of racing, and honestly, one mistake or one little situation that was out of his control, I would say honestly, can't overlook that and can't put the negative over the good he's done today. He has absolutely performed at a higher level and a higher stance, putting this car to good use and putting everything on the line just to make or break the day. Here we go, race fans, coming down off of turn number 4 this time on by. You gotta get the nod to the Toyota Supra driver of Corey Abbott. He's got 2 laps to go. Green flag high in the air. Jeff Oaks tried as much as he might. Being put where he was at was not going to help his cause any, and he wasn't going to be able to get up through the field as much as he wanted. And in turn, it cost him. Through turn number 3 to turn number 4, here we go. White flag high in the air, this time on by. He's only been to victory lane 1 other time this season, folks. He caught himself into a bit of a bad spot earlier, caught a break later, and really caught himself in a very good position really late in the race. Through corner number 3 to turn number 4, 3 spots up from 3rd to 1st. It's going to be Corey Abbott bringing it home to victory lane in the season finale. And Austin Louder driving it right out the line, almost catching Jeff Oaks. But Jeff will hold on for a 2nd place finish. Your race winner, though, will be indeed the number 21 of Corey Abbott. A victory lane celebration certainly in the works for him, as well as the man who now officially can crown himself champion. Piloting the big bad number 12. He may have had troubles earlier, but your season champion is going to be the 12 of Alenton Norgard.
What a season and what a victory here.
Time for the burnouts to begin for that 21 camp. Looks like he's going to wait a little bit here. Looks like they're not quite done racing as apparently is what he was telling him. I think Ailton just wanted to try to get on his last back and finish this one on his own feet here. Well, the race has been confirmed and official here. Your Six Sigma Sim Racing winners are going to be Corey Abbott and Ailton Norgard. Abbott with the win of the race. The championship going to Norgard. Jeff Oakes going to go second. Third to Austin Louder. William White goes fourth. Andrew Hardcastle fifth. Sixth to Chantal Pano. Seventh to Joe Gregory. Eighth to Mike Rideout. Chad Lancaster ninth. And 10th to Stephen Louder. Well, I think Ailton wanted to give a little proper howdy do to old Abbott down there. A little love, I guess. I think Abbott was probably trying to get a few burnouts, though, before you did that there at Norgard. But nevertheless, that's how they'll play it out. All right, race fans, time to listen in to your top three drivers right now. Coming away third today out of this one. Having one of the best races of his season, Austin Louder coming away with a strong performance here. Louder, I know this one was going down the wire, and it was going down quickly, but, man, you threw everything you could and threw a great ride out there. What was going through your mind throughout the rest of this race?
Well, it was my best race of the season. Wish it could have ended a little bit better. Uh, a great finish, second at least, but wish I could have been fine for the lead at the end.
Yeah, I was about to say, battling for the lead as well. You know, you kind of got a little bit in trouble there with the situation that popped up out of turn number 3. Had that not happened, though, do you think this car would have possibly actually been parking it more towards victory lane, or what are you thinking there?
Yeah, I felt like I definitely could have won the race, but especially off pit road, I was very fast, as well as Corey, which congrats to him. Good race for him. I definitely felt like I could have won this race, but
Well, sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, hey, man, you're still at least going to come away today with a solid performance and a good end to this one. So, with all that said in stone and said in mind, who do you want to thank you for this final one?
sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you.
I was going to say, for this final race end, who do you want to thank you for this finish?
Like thank the band for organizing this with all Six Sigma. So it's very good. It's a very fun season. I wish I could be a little higher up in points, but overall, a very fun season. Can't wait to do it again.
For sure there, Austin. It's been great to have you all season round. Congratulations here on this third place finish today.
Thank you.
Austin Lyer, ladies and gentlemen, he'll pop it in today for a third place finish. Jeff Oakes gonna take it home for a second place finish today. Hard Charger, 9 spots up. Congratulations to him. It doesn't look like he will be chatting with us today, although we'll give him a chance there at least. But nevertheless, the man that takes it home tonight, Corey Abbott, one last win for him. And Corey, you know, 2 wins this season. May not have been the championship, but I believe at least the second place is due in order for you. How proud are you about this race today?
I'm proud of it. You know, Charlotte's always a place that is hard on tires and it's always hard on the driver. You know, you got to have it figured out. We happen to just have it figured out.
Have it figure it out, have it set on motion, set on par. Now, also, I know that this one got a little bit more of a ruckus, a little bit more of a crazy spotter in between in the long haul, in the long fight. But I've kind of got to ask you, too. I mean, had the season gone a little bit more differently, do you think this would have been really the final race to make for a championship season, or do you think the Norgar was just a little too fast throughout?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. I try not to think about it. He and we're so close on pace. It's so hit or miss with whatever we're doing that week. You know, either he finds a couple tens or I find a couple tens. One of us is hooked up and the other one isn't, vice versa. Um, yeah, if I didn't have, the bad luck that I had earlier on, it could have been closer, but I don't know. I mean, he ran a great season, so I try not to think about it, and I just, hats off to him.
For sure there. Well, you did run a good season. You ran a good end to this one, so he want to thank you for all this season.
Got to thank Abbott Motorsports. Elaine had some bad luck getting disconnected as we started the race, but he was telling me some lap times he was running while we were going, and I think if that didn't happen, he very easily could have run away with this one instead of me. Andrew, got to thank Andrew Hardcastle. He ran a good race, finished fifth. Shout out to Austin Lauder. He ran a heck of a race. He had me sweating bullets there for a minute. He was great on his tires all race. Just unlucky.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Abbott, man, congratulations. What a great season and coming away second overall in the championship and winning this one in Charlotte. Congratulations on all of it, sir.
Thank you.
Corey Abbott, ladies and gentlemen, will end his season in victory lane and second on top. Race fans, thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in for the Super Speedway Series tomorrow night. We'll catch you guys next time here on Pizza Race TV.